She's seen Encanto more times than she can count. And she can count to 10. She mentioned Mirabel in every conversation. But the moment she actually met Mirabel, she was speechless. That's pura magia. Find yours at Walt Disney World Resort.
5 years, 10 months, and 2 days. That's how long it took to grow the 38 inches to ride on Cali River Rapids. But the moment the wait finally ended, that was pura magia. Discover it at Walt Disney World Resort.
At Designer Shoe Warehouse, we believe that shoes are an important part of, well, everything.
From first steps to first dates, from all-nighters to all-time personal bests.
From building pillow forts to building a life.
For all the big and small moments that make up your whole world, DSW is there. And we've got just the shoes. Find a shoe for every you from brands you love at brag-worthy prices at your DSW store or DSW.com.
Hello, I'm Carmen Borca Carrillo, a senior producer at Wonder Media Network. I'm so excited to be guest hosting this episode of Womanica. This month, we're talking about architects. These women held fast to their visions for better futures, found potential in negative space, and built their creations from the ground up. Today, we're talking about a prolific painter whose ambition earned her commissions in churches across Italy. Overcoming the gender norms of her time, she's believed to be Italy's first woman architect. Let's talk about Plautilla Bricci. Plautilla Bricci was born on August 13, 1616, in Rome, Italy. Little is known about her early life, but we do know that her father was a painter and musician. It's likely that Plautilla learned the basics of painting and architecture from him. In addition to instruction at home, Plautilla received formal art education at the Cavaliere d'Arpino and Accademia di San Luca. Her initial studies focused primarily on painting. She was taught by nun and artist Maria Eufrasia della Croce, who collaborated with Plautilla on Christian art. Plautilla had her artistic debut between the 1630s and 40s with her painting of Madonna and Child. Portraits of the Virgin Mary, the Madonna, and the baby Jesus, the Child, were widely popular among painters in the 15th and 16th century Italy, and a mainstay in Italian Renaissance art. Plautilla's take on it plays with light and features delicate shading which shrouds its subjects, and it was said to have been completed by a divine hand. Plautilla's signature is on the back of the canvas, along with a note that reads, "This image was painted in 1640 by Plautilla Bricci, a spinster, who, as she herself often told our fathers, having erroneously shaded some parts of the Madonna's face because she had never painted it on a large scale, found it miraculously perfected." Plautilla's Madonna and Child found a home in the Carmelite Church of St. Maria in Monte Santo and attracted public attention. By the 1660s, her career as a painter was flourishing. She took on commissions from various spaces of worship, creating sprawling altarpieces with rich depictions of religious icons. She was successful, without a doubt, but she had other ambitions. Plautilla had long been interested in architecture, but it was a field dominated by men. Lucky for her, Plautilla had an in with Abbot Elpidio Benedetti, who recognized her talent and saw potential in their collaboration. Elpidio was an art agent to the likes of King Louis XIV of France. He and Plautilla's creative partnership presented new opportunities for Plautilla, at last, in architecture. When Benedetti received commissions for monuments or urban sculptures, Plautilla would sketch out the designs. In 1663, Plautilla began working on her most ambitious project yet, Villa Benedetti. Her patron, Abbot Elpidio, wanted to inhabit the fanciest villa in Rome. Construction of the site lasted until 1665, and Plautilla had the leading role at the construction site, assisted by her brother Basilio. The design of Villa Benedetti was unusual for the time. Its curved walls form the facade of a ship stranded on rocks. It features galleries with open sides and ornate stucco formations. This sprawling achievement would not stand forever, as Villa Benedetti was almost completely destroyed during the French siege of Rome in 1849. Plautilla's leadership on Villa Benedetti is sometimes obscured from the historical record, but the documentation of plans and estimates for the project's scale are signed by her own hand. In 1670, Plautilla began work on another major commission for the Church of St. Louis the French. This church is dedicated to the patron saints of France and considered a national church for the French people in Rome. Plautilla designed the chapel of St. Louis IX, which is on the left side of the church. It features carved relief and sculptures. In the center, windows allow natural light to pour in, illuminating an altarpiece of St. Louis that Plautilla painted. In the years that followed, Plautilla took on some of her final documented works. Of them is An Angel Offering the Sacred Heart of Jesus to the Eternal Father from 1675. It hangs in the Vatican museums today. In 1677, Plautilla and her brother Basilio moved to a small house in Trastevere, to a house which belonged to Elpidio Benedetti, her creative partner. Elpidio had left the dwelling to Plautilla in his will. She lived there until her brother died, and afterward moved to the monastery of Santa Maria, where she'd spend the rest of her life. Plautilla died on December 13, 1705. She's buried in Trastevere next to her brother. All month, we've been talking about architects. For more information, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Womanica Podcast. Special thanks to Jenny and Liz Kaplan for having me as a guest host. Tune in tomorrow for a brand new theme.
Hey, you're listening to On Purpose with Jay Shetty, and today my guests are none other than Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco.
What I felt for Benny, it was everything about him was honest. He'll tell me anything that he's feeling, and it made me feel like I could do the same.
If we would have met each other when we were younger, it would have never worked.
Listen to On Purpose with Jay Shetty on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Imagine you're scrolling through TikTok. You come across a video of a teenage girl, and then a photo of the person suspected of killing her.
It was shocking. It was very shocking. Like, that could have been my daughter. Like, you never know.
I'm Jen Swan. I'm the host of a new podcast called My Friend Daisy. It's the story of how and why a group of teenagers turned to social media to help track down their friend's killer. Listen to My Friend Daisy on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.